Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be two very high-ranking bots that are both incredibly fun to spectate. We're going to be having BenBot once more because I just can't get enough of this guy. I'm gonna be taking on Deimos in a TVP, but more importantly, a bot versus bot match. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy these bot games, go ahead and click that like button. If we can hit 31 likes for 31 workers in this game right now, that would be amazing. Meanwhile, leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches, as I certainly enjoy casting them. And then, yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, as I think this is the most regular channel out there for bot matches, although I try and change things up a little bit by posting the odd other cast. Now let's take a look here. We've got a gateway on the way for Deimos, and then a cyber core behind that, so a very standard Protoss build in this day and age. If you watch pro players play, they tend to go for gateway cyber core nexus, not so much just gateway into nexus these days, as players like to have out those fast units. Now, BenBot is going for a little bit of a BenBot proxy. This is something the Terran bot does incredibly well, which is just go for a slight delay on the opponent's base by pushing on in with a proxy racks, a couple marines, and it can really delay expansions in this case. So we're gonna see how Deimos reacts to this or not. As this marine comes on in, there's going to be a bunker already starting to build. I think Deimos may need to pull a few probes to deal with this. However, there is an adept producing. It's being chrono boosted. Now that adept is going to have to micro pretty darn well. However, it actually canceled the adept for some reason. So Deimos' reaction to this is very, very bizarre. I'm not sure if it was short on gas or something. It must have been short on gas, as it just fired up a Stargate immediately in response to this proxy, canceled the adept and made a stalker. So the developers of Deimos have decided, nope, just go ahead and make a stalker and a Stargate. Having that out is more important than just, yeah, it's more important than having an adept out, which I guess makes sense. Adepts don't really deal any damage to bunkers, nor can they shoot up against other kinds of cheeses. But all in all, this is going to be a very big delay for Deimos, as BenBot has got a command center on the way up at its natural base. So as we see, and as we sometimes see with BenBot, it looks like it's going to be getting itself a nice lead in the early game due to this opening. It's an incredibly strong opening. Now, whether BenBot will be able to take that lead and run with it, we'll have to wait and see. There is currently 2 more stalkers being produced for Deimos, so I guess just building up enough ground units in order to break that bunker. The Immortal is on the way. That definitely will help out. Now, BenBot is producing a tank, and sometimes it does like to get its tanks over with this bunker just to take the contain to the next level. If that's going to be the case, we'll just have to wait and see, as it does take the tank a very long time to get across that map. That Immortal is going to be out before the tank can get there. Still though, the natural base is building for the Terran bot. Some probes are long distance mining as well for Deimos, so at least it's getting that economic benefit, and the probes aren't just running into the bunker and getting shot, as the position is rather high up, a bit of an odd spot to build the bunker. Looks like Deimos is actually just going to bypass the bunker for now, as BenBot is saying tag Stalker. It knows what it's up against. That siege tank is coming on out. The SCV is going to repair that bunker, but with the Immortal, the Stalkers are going to cut through this so darn quickly, and that bunker is going to fall. The injured Stalkers were microed back. BenBot wisely turns the siege tank around. It did not get there in time, but it is now definitely going to be needed on the defense. That Rax is also flying on home. So a very successful cleanup of this proxy, and this is the way that Deimos likes to play. It delayed its nexus a great deal in order to deal with this cheese. And then it's just going to play the game out. BenBot does have up its natural base already mining, got a nice worker lead. Fortunately, there's 2 Widow Mines inside this wall. That I think that's definitely going to help out against a potential push from Deimos, as the Protoss bot is going for a bit of counter aggression right now. 6 Stalkers moved across the map, but there's the tank. SCV's pulled off the line immediately to repair this bunker, but that tank, it kills 1 Stalker, gets a shot off on the Immortal, and is already collecting skulls here, as that tank is the linchpin in the defense for BenBot right now, as Deimos is usually pretty good at avoiding tank shots, but in this case it's not exactly doing the best job. The Immortal eating some shots. That bunker may actually be about to fall, however more SCVs were pulled off the line to repair it, and we can see that Deimos is taking the threat of the tank incredibly seriously now. So BenBot will keep that wall alive. There is a 3rd command center about to finish up for the Terran, so it's going to have a really nice economic position. Hellion just runs out and dies immediately, and behind this we've actually got Deimos going into a fleet beacon already. That's a very quick fleet beacon. Deimos pushes forward, trying to break this bunker. It's targeting down the SCVs to try and halt the repair. One of those Widow Mines got a shot off, though. That was quite significant. The tank in the back is still firing and firing away. The wall holds for now. It would be nice if BenBot could get some units into this lower bunker. One of the supply depots dies. A Hellion runs out. Once again, it wisely pulls back this time. So the defense is a little bit concerning here for BenBot. Meanwhile, we've got that Tempest building for Deimos. It wants to take this push to the next level already. So being incredibly aggressive. The tank does get another shot off. It's killed a fair few Stalkers, I think. 4 have died, actually, which is less than I'd have thought. So Deimos has been doing a good job pulling back the injured Stalkers, although another Widow Mine pops out for BenBot. That's going to run too far forward and get picked off. The Vikings are providing vision for the Terran bot. The tank is still shelling away, dealing damage to all these units. But yeah, look at the shuffle on the units by Deimos. A unit eats a tank shot, then really gets shuffled to the back line. The tank does kill off another Stalker, so it is getting some work done. However, now out comes the Tempest of Deimos. The Protoss bot is macroing while it does this push as well, so it's going to be 3 bases against 3 bases. BenBot's got a planetary at the 3rd, which may or may not be useful depending on whether Deimos finds and attacks that base. For now, the question is whether there'll be enough Vikings to defend against the Tempest. It looks like it. So BenBot's making a lot of Vikings, so I wonder if this is a pure Deimos response, as those Vikings will have to try and shoot that Tempest out of the sky. And as far as numbers go, Vikings trade pretty well with Tempest. Their HP is nowhere near what it was back in the old days. And so we'll see if this Viking can potentially keep that Tempest away. The concern, though, will be, as the Tempest count potentially grows, how BenBot is going to micro these Vikings. It wants to chase down that Tempest, but then we see the Stalkers on the ground are helping zone away the Vikings, so they're kind of just getting a shot off and then going back on out there. And we do have a second Tempest crossing the map, so that's going to be double damage from the Tempest. 2 Vikings do get a shot off, though, so it is getting softened up. And the contain just continues on right now. BenBot's bunker is eating some shots. Vikings do get some more shots off on that Tempest. They are pulling back for now. Not too many units dying for BenBot. It's holding the wall for now. The concern, though, is that Deimos basically has a license to macro while it contains BenBot while this is going on. And Deimos is a very good Protoss bot in the sense that it won't just, like, push off of 2 bases. It will squeeze out expansions, and that's exactly what it's doing. BenBot is trying to build a 4th base while this goes on. We do have the Terran now apparently going to be building Thors, which could definitely help out against the Tempest. Vikings are just hanging out for now as well. There is currently 4 Tempest against 5 Vikings, so that's quite nice for the Protoss bot. However, these Vikings are coming forward. There is an injured Tempest. One of them does go down. Injured Vikings as well. However, they are able to pursue the Tempest and kill off 2 of them. We'll see if BenBot is able to get the 3rd. The answer is going to be yes. So the Stalker's not quite positioned to guard those Tempest. In fact, there's just not that many Stalkers really present for Deimos. So we may have been seeing the effect of the push being watered down a bit because of how much money Deimos is spending on macro right now, going up to 5 Nexus. While it'll definitely pay off in the long run, it isn't cheap in the short run. 2 Vikings eating some shots, though, while this goes on. That 1 Stalker is zoning out all the Vikings. That's very big. The Widow Mine actually kills the Stalker, though. So that is potentially going to allow these Vikings to collapse on top of this Tempest. We do have these two Stalkers being jerks, cutting off some of the mining at that base. However, look at this. Vikings are able to kill off what I think was really the last Tempest on the front lines for now. Looks like two more are coming forward. BenBot's Viking count and control has been pretty good so far. The Terran bot has got quite an army. A Thor is now going to move out. One Thor should be able to deal with two Stalkers, no problem. That's what we're going to see right there. So Big Daddy Thor has arrived. We've got more Vikings being made as well for BenBot, so taking the Tempest threat seriously. Look at this, the Vikings realizing they can just fly over those Immortals is very cool. Deimos has just been trickling out the Tempest, and there's just not enough of them to deal with all these Vikings, so the Protoss bot would be better off pulling home. Money-wise, the economy of Deimos is ridiculous. It's got over 3,000 minerals in the bank, so it's making so much money it can't afford to spend it all. 93 probes with speed mining is just next level. We do have armor on the way for those Tempest, which could help out. It's now triple Tempest production, but Deimos still is going up in the mineral count. 3 Tempest at a time and still going up in the mineral count. That's quite the economy. BenBot's own economy is going rather well for itself, as the Terran bot has secured that 4th base. Interestingly, the 3rd was a planetary, whereas the 4th is an orbital, so at least there is more orbitals present. We'll have to keep tabs on whether BenBot accidentally traps units inside its main base. It did that painfully in the previous match I cast of it. Vikings find the Tempest though, and look at that, they're just getting annihilated. +1 ship weapons on those Vikings, cut through the Tempest like a hot knife through butter. Meanwhile, BenBot has got a very superior army on the ground. And Deimos, yeah, it's really not making anything on the ground at all. No Stalkers or anything like that. Just purely Tempest, and there isn't enough Tempest. It's got 5,000 minerals in the bank. BenBot is pushing out. The Terran bot is starting to build battle cruisers, which may be actually the worst choice in this case if it starts potentially feeding battle cruisers into Tempest. Still, though, Deimos is well, BenBot's in quite a good spot. Deimos would be in a much better spot if it invested in more production, so we definitely do need to see more of that for Deimos. The macro on this team's bots, Eris and Deimos, is usually pretty top-notch. So it is a bit surprising to see it floating so much money in a situation like this. Definitely could use some more production. Tempest do have Tectonic Destabilizers. They delete a turret. 3 of them are coming forward, but man, 3 Tempest is no match for 20 Vikings. And Deimos is going to need to transition out of this composition at some point. And we do have a Robo Bay on the way, a couple more gateways being built, which is good to see. So maybe it's saying, okay, I can't win that air fight anymore. Lots of gateways going up now. I'm really glad to see that. I don't know what sort of trigger went off for Deimos. However, this is absolutely the right thing. The Stalkers could definitely help turn this around. They help zone out the Vikings. Look at this. That's allowing the Tempest to get some shots off. So the lack of Stalkers on the ground really allowed a lot of these Tempests to go down. Now BenBot pushes in. It's going to kill one of Deimos' base. The Protoss has no shortage of bases for 13 minutes in the game. Look at these Vikings fanning out, trying to avoid the Stalker, but then also get the Tempest Yamato cannon going off as well. And the Vikings are doing okay, still getting shots off on the Tempest, but the Stalkers on the ground are really making a difference. BenBot is transitioning, making 4 battle cruisers at a time against 3 Tempest at a time. This could potentially get a little bit hairy. We'll have to wait and see. The upgrades are very good for BenBot, though. It's going to have 3/3 done. Deimos is just getting +2 air attack. We are seeing another Stargate go and more Nexus going up for the Protoss, though, so it is spending some of its money. It's still got an incredible bank, though. Another Nexus is about to go down. BenBot securing another command center as well. I'm curious to see how many bases BenBot will go up to. Now, this battle cruiser is working away on this Nexus with the support of a few Marines on the ground. Vikings in the sky en masse. The BCs are building. There's currently 4 out versus 6 Tempest. So I am a little bit concerned about that. The Tempest are coming on in. They're going to shoot down the turrets first. BenBot's going to have to react to this, and it does. All of the Terran army is converging on this position. Vikings are flying forward. There's presently 14 Vikings out, so quite a few of them did perish. They are going to grab, let's see, 1 Tempest, probably a second. There we go. Thors are coming across the map as well. Thors could be very good for BenBot in this situation as they deal with Stalkers, they deal with Tempest very effectively. The Immortals could be problematic for it, however, it does seem that the army of BenBot is still just way too big for Deimos to deal with this. Tempest are microing as well as they can. They are going to try and target down a Thor, but Thors are just so beefy with their +3 armor and Deimos only having +2 attack. Vikings in the sky are doing work, although some of them are going to go down. And these two bots are really just trading out. Resources lost-wise, BenBot is in the lead. It's 25 dead Tempest against really just 18 Vikings, some Marines, and some SCVs. So the economy of BenBot, while it's pretty darn good. It's getting it where it needs to go back off this efficiency. BenBot, interestingly, sees the space is blocked and drops the scan. That might be a bit of an oversight. You could maybe just see that there's a Nexus there and realize that's why it's blocked. Now, BenBot is going to clean up another Nexus of Deimos, so it's keeping the harassment going. The Protoss bot is not one to be deterred, though. It's building more and more Nexus. As where's this other Nexus? It's building 2. I'm curious, where's the other one building? Where is it? It says it's building 2. But I'm clicking. Oh, there it is. Oh, pardon me. The one the CC's on top of. I was like, oh, that's a blue base. Here I go, confusing myself. We do have BenBot pushing on in. Deimos has a ridiculous amount of money in the bank still. It needs to transform that money into units, though, as it's only got out 6 Tempest right now. And they are out on the other side of the map. They're not really helping deal with all these battle cruisers. Maybe the Tempest can snipe a base amidst all this chaos that's going on right now. BenBot's working away on this Nexus to the top. A Marine is coming forward. Vikings instantly get pulled towards these Tempests as Deimos is trading on out. But look at this. Thor's Vikings coming on in, sending those Tempest running. The battle cruisers are still causing chaos as well. They killed off another Nexus. How many Nexus have died this game? The answer is 4. Lots of probes are probably going to die to these BCs as well. Deimos really just suffering from a lack of production this map. It's making 7 probes at a time. No pylon is being established to repower these buildings as well, which is definitely very painful. That's potential Stalker production, although Deimos does seem to be very committed with these Tempests. We've even got BenBot saying, attack now with tanks, so bring in everything. The Terran bot still trying to secure up this command center, taking its sweet time to clean this base up. Deimos does throw down pylons to repower these gateways, which is very important. I'm glad to see that. I just want to see the Protoss bot hit 200 supply, but it's not doing that as it keeps on fighting. It's got the money to build up to 200 supply. It just needs the time, really, and the production, as it's got 4 Stargates out. But that takes a long time to max out on Tempest, as there presently is 6 Tempest out, more being built. I do hope we get to see Deimos have a couple minutes here, so it can potentially max out. Yeah, it started making like more gateway units and stuff at some point, but then it just canceled them all, so that's quite unfortunate. Also, some batteries or cannons would definitely help Deimos out. BenBot's having a very good showing just from the start of this game. The strong economic play, but then really I think that this game has come down to the fact that Deimos didn't spend its money, and it still isn't spending its money fast enough. I mean, the bot authors probably thought, like, alright, 4 Tempest at a time is quite a bit. Not sure why our bot would ever need to make more than that, but having redundancy for cases like this in which it's like, oh, I do have, say, over 5,000 minerals, I better get spending that, build some more production. The Protoss bot has managed to build up to quite a nice Tempest count. It's currently 11. The Vikings are coming to fight the Tempest by themselves. The Tempest are just running, though. They're not actually shooting the Vikings. Only one of them is fighting. The Tempest are programmed to retreat and fan out, but they're not just doing that in a case that they definitely would have been better just fighting. So BenBot's Vikings are pulling off a massacre right now. So many Tempests go down, and that could be the nail in the coffin for Deimos. Battle cruisers are in the main base. That's production being taken down. The Protoss bot doesn't even have +3 attack for the Tempest yet either, which definitely has hurt the efficiency over this game. Eventually, the bank is also going to decrease for Deimos, as it's been mining a lot of money, but BenBot is actually mining more than it now. It's lost so many Nexus, quite a few probes too during all this chaos. Those Stargates are unpowered. looks like these Stargates may be unpowered at some point soon. A Tempest pops out, getting some shots off. But in the end, I think BenBot has gotten a much-needed win, I'll say. Most of the games I cast on this channel seem to just be BenBot losses. It is a very darn good Terran bot, though, and when things go right for it, they definitely go right. And yeah, I really liked the Viking control in this match. The battlecruiser transition did make me a little bit worried, as I do wonder how this game would have gone if Deimos had had more production. Like, say if it had 8 Stargates or something and it's just shooting out Tempest, and maybe making a few more Stalkers on the ground or something, then maybe this game does go the way of the Protoss bot. But it's really just been fighting with suboptimal supply the whole game. But still, a win is a win, and BenBot did what it needed to do. We're now getting more Stargates built, but I just believe that's because others of them died. So, Deimos will be losing this match. BenBot, well done. Vikings landed, cutting through this Protoss tech. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this match, make sure to go ahead and click that like button if you haven't already. If you watched all the way to the end but you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. Man, Vikings walking look very funny. They sort of look like rabbits in Fast Forward. And yeah, if you do want to support the channel, consider becoming a YouTube member. That's the best way to go about that. I mean, Deimos is building a couple more Tempest, which is good redundancy in the bot to try and rebuild, but if the first, I don't know, 40 Tempest, 54 Tempest that it lost didn't get the job done, I don't think 1 or 2 more are. So, well done to BenBot, able to take this match. The Vikings just look so goofy in Fast Forward. Really is a sight. Just trying to chase down this one probe. Doo-doo-doo. One battle cruiser is scaring all the probes off. A couple of more Tempest are building. Maybe the 2 Tempests could kill this battle cruiser. As Deimos is still mining and trying to rebuild. There we go, 2 Tempests popping out, but oh boy, here comes BenBot. In come those battle cruisers, Yamato cannons going down, Vikings gonna kill everything. Deimos gonna die with almost 20,000 resources in the bank. That is unfortunate. If you guys do want to see more BenBot or Deimos, leave a comment down below. Deimos sending probes out. Says we will rebuild. GG.